episode club. Today we have got a very, very, very special person back joining us, and his name is Johnny Be Crazy. But we're going to be covering Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 6, E Pluribus Unum? I don't know what it's called, but Johnny, happy to have you back with me today. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing? It's good to be back. I don't even know what to say anymore. It is time to get crunked up, as they say, because I'm so hip and I'm super hype. I hope everybody's having fun. See some awesome people out there in the chat. Thank you for having me on. E pluribus unum. Yes, it's on our dollar, and I cannot remember what it means. It's like something about God or the eyeball of God or something. No, I'll look it up really quick, but yeah.
So, speaking of the lovely people in the chat, we have Bravosi Broadcast, aka Fake Aria. Go check out that channel. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And she's got, I think, a special recipe in the works. So go check her out.
Out of many, one. That's what it means.
Okay.
So basically, the big blob monster is what it's talking about.
Yeah. Makes sense. And we have some person named Johnny Be Crazy also in the chat. I don't know who he is. He kind of comes and goes, but I think he's kind of come back. And then we also have Dark Mother, who is a supporter of the channel on Patreon. So thank you, Dark Mother. She'll probably watch this later. And we have Otile Angel, another awesome lady, and was always in the chat, and KCC. So thank you all so much for joining us right now. I think AK will be able to join us. She's just stuck in a bit of traffic, but she'll probably pop on at some point. So, I know, Johnny, you haven't been on for all of the episodes for season 3, but kind of what were your thoughts going into kind of a bit of the season 3, a bit like up until this point?
I'm assuming you asked me what I thought of season 3 up until this point. I had redneck internet issues, and I've been enjoying it so far. Going through meeting the new characters. You can't spell America without Erica, of course. I've been enjoying Episode Club as it's going so far. Fandom, the bird flu is just tearing it up. Alicia Kingston with her super descriptive, what the hell you would want to call it? Just super descriptive language. She writes some really good fanfic too. If you're into that stuff, I have to say it's nice and juicy. As far as the show, I think it does a good job of developing all of the characters, getting to know the teenagers, relating to many different walks of life. If you're watching this, there's one scenario that you've probably been in, and at some point in your life, more than likely. And it's been pretty refreshing too. You think you have the old Russians, the Ruskies. You think it'd be, oh, they're using this old
Uh-oh. Something happened.
and then drop again. Anyways, they weren't too heavy-handed with the Ruskies. It was good. What whatever. I don't know what's going on. Must be my internet.
Maybe. But yeah, you're right. They have the Russians, and they're like more or less not um, necessarily like the stereotypical role that they're supposed to play. They're like slightly different, but in that sort of relation. We kind of like we say every week. This episode is kind of meant to be paired with episode 5. So we kind of pick up with Scoop's troop, with Steve, Dustin, Robin, and Erica, and they're in the underground facility again, and they catch up with a bunch of Russians in the part of the underground facility where they're trying to open up the portal to the upside down, and they get chased through, and Steve and Robin get captured while Erica and Dustin escape. So what do you think about the crazy Russians and really seeing that they're opening up the portal almost?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I love how with Steve they had him running through there, and he kept pushing people, doing things before someone could draw a gun. And you also got to think it's just some people running through there. You want to question them as they did, but you would have thought someone would have shot at them a little bit before that. But we don't know how volatile it is. Maybe you can't have guns in there due to they don't want you messing up the equipment due to an accident or something of that nature. But the kids getting split up, it's classic. And then, later we have Dustin saving the day, which is just awesome. I love how Erica doesn't believe anything that Lucas did. She believes all this crazy story, but my brother didn't have anything to do with that because he's just a lame asshole, basically.
Yeah, she's she doesn't want to believe that Lucas could be cool. Just like how she doesn't believe herself to be a nerd. So, yeah, if you saw the tweet that I made for the stream, I included the GIF that says, "You know you're a nerd" or whatever that Dustin specifically says in this, which is funny because she's like, "I'm not a nerd." It's like, "Well, you're good at math. You can do math equations in your head. You like My Little Pony," and he said something else about her being nerdy. It's just like, that's a nerd. It's like whether you deny it or not, you're a nerd.
Yeah, and My Little Pony. What is it? What's it called? That dudes that like My Little Pony? They're bronies.
Yeah,
Is that what they're called?
a brony.
So
Yeah,
Dustin's a brony. We found out. Dustin didn't do anything wrong. Fandom do saying he's a damn brony. Okay, I tell you, he's the Antichrist. We just got to get on that.
yeah, it's a brony. Um, yeah, because they get separated because Erica asks like how long is it's like the demogorgon or something, and then he's like about 9 feet or something like that, and he she like walks off, and then she finds like a gun thing that can kind of have electrocutions.
A cattle prod,
Yeah.
basically. But it seemed. I think. I think Dustin killed that one guy. I know why.
It's almost like a taser on like an nth degree level. It's like so much higher up. Um, she's just crazy, and with Dustin and Erica kind of on their own adventures, we get Steve and Robin, and basically Steve's being interrogated this entire time, and he's like, "Who do you?" The Russians are like, "Who do you work for?" And he's like, "Scoop Stroop in the mall," and the Russians do not believe
Oops,
it.
ahoy.
He's like, "I work." It's like, "I don't believe you," and he's like, "Why do you think I'd be wearing this uniform if I wasn't actually working there?" Um, but
Because
eventually,
you are a spy.
yeah,
Da.
exactly, exactly. It's just like,
Sterling Archer.
I almost
Codename Duchess.
that's literally almost what you can think of if you've watched, like, because that'd be such a thing if Steve was like a Sterling Archer type character. It's almost like, hey. Um, but yeah, they don't obviously believe him, and then they bring in Robin at one point, and then they're
Can I
stuck.
just let me stop you really quick because this is the beginning of Steve's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. This kid gets like 50 concussions in this one episode. And if you remember season one, this kid has gotten concussion after concussion. Steve gets the shit beat out of him on a regular basis, and not most of the time it's not even his fault. I mean, these guys are creaming him. I have to say he's got a pretty good chin, even though all of the blood vessels in his eyes are now exploded. But we have to take note of that. Are all these head injuries going to affect Steve in later seasons? Sorry, it
Maybe
may. I mean,
no, I mean
I'm laughing about it because I've been punched in the head a few times.
no, but I mean yeah, that's entirely a possibility. Like concussions and traumatic head injuries usually affect people later on. Um, they may not show absolute signs in the near future, um, but they could show prolonged damage afterwards. But yeah, he, excuse me, does get beaten up quite a bit, especially once you see him again. He has like almost two black eyes, like really puffy cheeks, almost like a almost bruised jawline, um, and yeah, like they didn't think not really do much to Robin, which I mean, if they had problems with her, then Netflix would have been had some angry tweets. Um, but I think, yeah, because when the Russians show up, he's like, "What are you doing?" And then eventually they tie themselves up, and he's about to have his
Wait, hold
fingernail
on.
be taken out.
Hold on. They tied themselves up. They're getting a little kinky in there. Sasa. I didn't see them tie themselves up,
Well, they
but
got
hey,
tied
that
up.
changes
Sorry,
the dynamic if they did. I'm just kidding.
no, they got tied up by the like with a belt too, which was weird. They got tied together with a belt.
Lots of
Um,
famous people have had belts around their necks when they've passed.
oh,
Look into it. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, they get trapped here, and you have your classic moment where it seems like they're going to escape. No, no, you're getting the truth serum here. Where you gonna think you're going, buddy? You need a couple more punches to your face because people just don't like the way Steve looks. Steve the Hair Harrington. So they're just gonna jack his ass up at any moment they can get. People wish they were that pretty. I know
Mhm.
I'd hit him if I saw him. No offense, Steve. You're a good dude, but you have a very, very punchable face, apparently.
Yeah, and in this scene where they are tied up, they try to get scissors to cut themselves free, fall over, and we get more background information about Robin. Um, this is still where they were unsure about where Robin's character was going in terms of her. I think it was up until this point. It might have been, or it might have been decided last episode. But that when they were writing the story, um, they weren't sure about where Robin's sexuality was going to lie. So this is why they have certain scenes of "I was always jealous of you and your popularity," um, and all of these other types of scenes where it's just like admiring Steve, and how popular he was and the types of teachers that they had, which is nice because we don't really get like conversations like that. Like presumably Steve and Jonathan are in the same grade, so it's a dynamic that they've never had. Presumably a class together.
Sasa, do you know how hard it is being the prettiest guy in town? I mean, I've just had the worst thing of it. No, but it is cool how they get to relate. Robin gets to kind of tell her story, and I love the misdirection here. You think Robin actually likes Steve, but we
Mm,
get thrown with a mollywop at the end, and I think it's really, really good how they did that. But
yeah.
that's going a little too far. She does spill her guts, remembering all kind of things from class that Steve the Hair Harrington was not paying attention. His head was in the hair or in the clouds.
Yeah, she used to sit behind him, and that he would always eat a sesame bagel with egg and bacon or something. Like the fact that she like remembers this stuff, um, proves that either she's slightly crazy, or she just admired him that much to remember every single thing. And the fact that he was always late to class. I mean, if she doesn't become his best friend by the end of this season and into season 4, I would be entirely
Oh,
like,
she dies in episode 1 of season 4. Sorry. No, I think she's going to become a staple in the series until the end. Not going to lie.
mm,
You need, like, you have the girls, right? But you need
mm,
a strong female presence, and she gives that. Not saying Nancy isn't, she's strong in her own ways, but she's already kind of settled down. It's not really any adventures, not Nancy, but Nancy's mom, Mrs. Wheeler,
mhm.
not any adventures that she's really going to go on. You have Robin, who's budding into she's a woman getting to know herself, and well, we're going to get to experience that. We maybe even get introduced to another female character as well. That's kind of setting that up as a love interest.
Yeah, I
That's what
could
I think.
I could definitely see that because I know we've been kind of talking about. We talked about this before, but before the season started, of where if they were going to bring in other types of characters, like bring a character who's involved in the LGBTQ plus community, as well as elderly characters, and we kind of got those this season. So it's nice. I'm happy that we're doing that. But yeah, Robin and Steve and the Truth Serum, and then I think, oh yeah, because in that whole thing too, Steve is like, oh, Dustin's gonna call Hopper, and then Hopper's gonna break us out of here, and you're gonna get in so much trouble, you're going to jail. And Robin's like, shut up. Because now they're trying to, like, because we're still having storylines separated, so them coming together will be a thing in the next episode. And so
Well, I mean, you also at this point, you have them. Steve is so sure. He's under the truth serum, and he has this much. Yes, hashtag let Robin live. Steve has so much faith in Dustin and all of his friends that's kind of a good thing. That's an awesome thing you have when you actually can have faith in your friends like that, and to see him truthfully feel that way, I think it's him letting out all of his feelings that we've known he's had the whole time, and but in a way where he's almost threatening the dude and laughing. They're really really high, and I guess you want to talk about Dustin and Erica. Like, that's the green ooze, man. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Secret of the Ooze, some Teenage Mutant
yeah,
Ninja Turtles throwback.
yes,
What's going on, Danny McKay? Super finger guns, man. Pew, pew, pew. I'm sorry, those are
off camera.
one-shotters.
But yes, it is actually Johnny. He is back for today. But yeah, because we get the green ooze talked about a bit more because it was utilized in the last episode when they were able to get away. Let me pull up my note for that. Yeah, they get the. Yeah, I think that they needed to have something like sci-fi-ish involved, and like green ooze was the easiest thing they could kind of use almost to make.
Well, almost, they use stuff from the past, 80s. You also have the blob used in this a lot. Everything you saw with how it came through the door, went in the vent, straight blob reference. This, I would call it, I can't remember the name of those movies, the type of movie, but it's basically like a spoof cult classic. What's up, Snokes Final Tap? Good to see you, man.
And
Bobby's
Bobby,
Carolina, handmade by Bobby. Go check it out. Danny McKay already said hey to you. I'll shoot you again. Pew. Bravosity Broadcast. That's a fantastic channel. Go check that out as well.
yeah.
Attila Angel's doing stuff. Something about a get high challenge. So
I mean, hey. But yeah, I think I know what you're talking about with those movies. The whole, yeah, using like classic movie references almost in terms of that. I don't remember all of them, but I understand what you're talking about. And yeah, they have them dealing with that at the same time, which, because you gotta have some like comedic moment rather than us like worried about
yeah, what
everybody
do you
else.
think's gonna come of that though? Of the green ooze? What do you think that's gonna use for? I mean, I know it like melts through shit, but what does it actually do? I don't think we find out, do we?
No.
Still kind of left as a mystery, which I think we'll see play out later. Loving the green heart, puff puff, pew. uh,
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
don't.
What do you think they're gonna do with it? You think it's gonna be used as some kind of weapon? Do you think Erica took some with her?
She, she did have
Possibly.
a big backpack that surprisingly had a lot of stuff in it. So she might have snuck one bottle, but she had to be like. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't, like, if she snuck one off camera and put it in her bag or something like that. Um, and have that not as like a. It wouldn't be a continuity error, but it could be something that's in the future. Because
Can I
we have
call
season
it
one.
now too? If they ever encounter a Demogorgon, we'll see Erica make a trap for it. Gonna ask how big it is. Then you see the cage. Then you see she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Something going on there. Erica gonna do something.
Yeah, but
America.
I think I think probably for based off of this season, I think she's leveled up to main cast because she was only a guest starring season 2. So I think she's considered main cast now because she's basically in every single episode. So we're like just about main cast level. So yeah, I think they because now she knows about what they weren't supposed to discuss. Um, that most definitely, if those things are still out there, that she'll probably be involved next.
Well, in the Goonies, you have Data, the person always building the contraptions. I kind of equate that to Dustin, but now you have Erica possibly
You'd have the two of
gonna
them.
take over that role. Yeah, I said booby trap. Love that movie. Have you seen the Goonies yet, Sasa?
Yes, but like years ago when I
Oh, you
was
gotta watch it again. You'll
like,
see nothing but this. And Josh Brolin,
yeah,
Thanos, as like a baby with like baby cheeks, baby face.
yeah,
Pretty funny. And he rides a girl's bike with training wheels
I
in
remember
the
that.
in the in the movie. It's a great movie. And then what's her name from Throw Mama from the Train? I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Not
Uh,
that one, no. I'll
she's
have to
got this
watch it.
crazy voice. I'm not even gonna try to do it, but yeah. Anyways, getting off topic.
No, no, it's
So
okay.
I guess I'll throw you something. Erica,
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, they
Mm-hmm.
saved the day here. Now, is it the next episode we see them driving away? Or is it this one
Um,
that they're driving?
in this one, they don't have very much of Erica and Dustin, besides the fact that they get away from
Oh no,
uh,
nerd. We talked about the nerd talk.
a little bit. We
But
touched on it, but if you wanted to expand on upon it more,
yeah, we'll do that and then whatever you want to do.
yeah, we can kind of talk about that. Um, yeah, like, because that brings up a thing that we can probably talk about um, later on again, like in future other streams and such. But like, what constitutes being a nerd, and they kind of divulge that because they haven't had like you're a nerd type of conversations before. Like this show's never highlighted what makes people a nerd because most of the main cast constitutes themselves as nerds effectively. So there's never been really one that's kind of challenged that,
And
maybe
I
besides
guess
Steve.
Steve isn't a nerd.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't do any nerd stuff. He's just an airhead.
Yeah.
Looking to have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, it kind of well he like challenges like the nerd thing and then as like end of season 1 he's like I am whatever I am essentially.
And then he wears the pie outfit for the remainder of season 3.
He
I
never
am what I
changes
am, and that's all that I am. I'm Pie the Sailor Man. Doo-doo.
him and Robin never changed their outfits, I think, until like the very last scene that they are in this entire season. I think it's the very last scene that they're in is when they've changed outfits. Every everything
Save some
else,
money on wardrobe.
yeah. Yeah, literally, they're like wearing their same outfit. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of know what they're doing in as far as nerd. I think it's good. It's relevant in this day and age when we have so many nerds around. You know, you want to get that little bit of shout out. Maybe you don't want to be a nerd, but you might just be an undercover nerd and not know it, like Erica Dustin busted her out on that.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, who else do you want to talk about next? I guess what do we have? Joyce and Hopper, but
We
we
have
also
Joyce.
have the kids
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah, and the monster. So, where do you want? We can talk about, I guess, Joyce, Hopper, Alexi, and Murray, because it's kind of a short-ish sequence. Ish.
Well, first off, the giftability of Murray and Hopper drinking vodka is astounding. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sure that one's already out there at this point. And I just like how they're throwing it down. You know, Alexei just killing it here. And strawberry slushy, strawberry slurpee, whatever the hell you got. Strawberry, pretty much anything with a drink like this is nasty. It's gross. He's got a point. It doesn't all taste the same, Hopper. It doesn't all taste the same, man. You got to at least try it. I don't think he does. You know, Hopper just drinks beer. That's what he drinks. And
Or
he doesn't
whiskey.
drink Slurpees. He doesn't, he just gets him a cold one and kicks it back. He doesn't know what this talk of Slurpees by this man is. What is he talking about? And the language barrier, I think, is really funny. And Murray trying to interpret it, but they really get to figure out what the hell's going on, and it's not good, right, Sasa?
No, 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 it's not. And yeah, like it's that great debate, which I think we kind of talked about a bit last week, but it's like the cherry slushy or the strawberry slushy, and I think the cherry slushy always wins. Um, but yeah, because Hopper leaves and comes back, and he's brought food, and he's brought slushies, and then Alexis not happy about it. Um, and he was like, "Well, I'm not gonna tell you if you don't give me the proper slushie or apologize or something." But he basically, Alexei, for all intents and purposes, basically says that the Russians are creating a hole to connect to another dimension slash world, which freaks Joyce and Hopper out because they know what's going on. That the upside down is going to become a thing again, and they don't want that. And Joyce is like, I gotta call the kids, so they gotta find them all before something bad happens. Um,
Mm, yeah, I mean, maybe they stop something really bad happening, but it doesn't end up getting too good later. Sorry for the background noise. You'll just have to deal with it.
yeah,
Uh,
they're used to it on my on here. Me also.
Joyce Joyce shows why we love her right here,
Mhm.
right? Fighting for her children. They're only 10 minutes away from the door, the kids, and they're not even where they're supposed to be at this point. They're out at the cabin,
Mhm.
and I really love how she takes initiative here. Uh, you know, poor Murray, his whole spot's been blown up. He's gonna have to get a whole new location to go underground and covert again. He doesn't want to be wiretapped, all that shit. If Murray lived today, the guy would just have a heart attack because he couldn't get away from anything that's recording him. He would live out in a windowless shack out in the middle of nowhere, probably. And she just gives him hell. Like a mother would. It kind of reminds me of my mom. It's scary in a sense that well, they'll do anything for their babies. So that's kind of what you have on your hands there. And what's up with Hopper? He's just chilling. I'm super worried. He's in there smoking a cigarette, laid back. I think he is worried, but he's got like
Yeah,
this plan in place.
yeah, it kind of like somewhat stress smoking, but not at the same time. Oh yeah, because this is still at the time where they had to switch the calls or whatever, where you call into the call center and then they provide you the other end. And he's like, "What's your what is it code name or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, I forgot." And it's like, and then Murray, "You wrote it down." And you keep it in your wallet so you don't have this memorized?
I think it's pretty apropos too. The antique chariot. Hopper could be considered an antique chariot. Now, does that mean he's an old vessel? Does that go back into is Hopper the person in Russia, the American that they have over there? Oh, how did he get there? He went through Satan's butthole right through the other side, man. You know how he got there. Came
Yeah.
out with a Demogorgon in a headlock. That's all I got to say about that. No.
I mean, it's entirely it's entirely possible with what's kind of happened. Um, but yeah, the cover being blown, so now Murray can't stay there anymore. Too bad, because that set was oh so awesome. We kind of got some memories from that set from before. Um, and also, still, I think this is where Murray's still trying to figure out how to read Joyce and Hopper, even though he knows how to read them at this point. Um, because he still thinks that both of them have feelings for one another.
Yeah, they just need to bang and get it over with.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, they've been kind of um, the will they, won't they couple besides like Jonathan and Nancy, which we can talk about in a few minutes. But yeah, because they had that also the discussion too of giving Alexei the car keys to see if he would leave, and he didn't leave, which was a big thing. Because like, yeah, he's gonna go back to the Russians, and it's like, but he's not going to. Um, which I commend Alexei for, because he could have easily just like left them, and but he probably would have gotten killed at the same time. But who knows?
Could at least went and got him a cherry Slurpee or slushy or ice, whatever the hell they're called at this point. I don't
Icy,
remember.
Slurpee.
We have slush puppies around here. They're called slush puppies. You know, because we got to be weird in the South.
And
Hey, that was pretty good. Hopper's pretty damn confident in his plan, and he almost took off. But Hopper's right. He was scared the whole time. He was actually relieved to have someone around him. He was just trying to be a tough ass negotiator, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah, because like Joyce was like, Hopper, he sounds like he's leaving, and same thing with Murray. Like Murray's like, he sounds like he's about to leave. And Hopper's like, he's not gonna do that. And it almost, the way that they film that little sequence makes you think that he's actually gonna leave, which would have been hilarious. But he like stops right before he crosses the gate, and Hopper's like, yeah, I was right. Maybe it's because he's been like a cop for so long that he just knows how to read people, especially
yeah,
someone like Alexei. But yeah, it's just funny. Um,
I think so. I
but
think so. Has anybody got any questions or comments on this episode while we get to the next stuff? You want to talk about Jonathan and Nancy and all of that couple. You know, they're doomed to die in each other's arms before the end of the series. That's my prediction. They are a Romeo and Juliet, a Sid and Nancy couple. I'm going to go with the Sid and Nancy. Jonathan's going to be like this punk rock star, and then they're going to kill each other. No, I'm such an asshole. But
yeah,
she's running from the blob, man. That's some serious shit.
yeah.
She is so lucky 11 was there. And then even 11 couldn't really mess this thing up that much, could she?
No, because we kind of pick up with the monster block. I think it's officially called the monster, and where we leave off, which is it's developed into its form, so to speak, and it's chased Nancy into this room, and Jonathan's trying to get her, save her, but obviously that's not working until Elle shows up, and Elle throws it out the window, essentially, and surprisingly, they all made it downstairs at the same time, even though the kids ran down the hallway, like at least 30 seconds before Jonathan and Nancy, because you see Jonathan comforting Nancy, and then when they do the outside shot, they're literally standing beside Elle and everybody else. It's like, wait, what? Because it's like, either you have hyperspeed, like you developed hyperspeed in the last 15 seconds, or that was just the other kids were very slow.
You didn't see that little clip where they did the hyperspeed training segment? 11 pulled them along. She was running at hyperspeed, and then with her mind, pulled them behind her. Don't make too much of it. She was there, though. She was slinging meat. I don't know what that means, though. But she was slinging meat around.
Yeah, it's like, like she's like throwing it. But oh my gosh, that must have been. I guess they were using a green screen or something for when the monster thing kind of covering in front of Nancy's face. But I could only like imagine what she had, what was in the script to like describe this thing that was coming at her face. Almost, it's like blood, gut, like slush. It's just trying to come for your face or whatever. Like she could have been taken by the monster, but obviously she's not, because we need the teenager in Nancy Wheeler. But yeah, they kind of get saved by 11, and then the blob gets sucked through the drain, leaving like I think shin bones and something else, remnants, which disgusting. And it kind of becomes a blob, like a mega blob. And Billy and Heather are just there and be like, it's time. Which...
You know, talking about high, they were really, really high. They were smoking they ate that good Jojen paste.
Yes.
So gross, Otila. I agree. It was just a bunch of viscera everywhere. As much viscera as you can stand. There's viscera all over the walls. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. I commend them though for the CGI team or whatever they used. Probably CGI. Like, did a great job. It's just because it makes you go ooh. But yeah, it's like it got mega.
I could make some awful jokes right now about no, they used this person or they used that person, but I'm not going to do that.
No, that probably would be the best idea. But yeah, they did have a couple people, be involved in that pile of people, and then it's the whole it's time thing, and I guess we could also talk about the fair that's going on, which is preparing for 4th of July, which is like the next day or the day after.
Robin
and Mayor
Hood
Klein
Tights is getting a little erotic asphyxiation on the gravitron. Basically. What's his name? Carrie Yules or something? Damn it, what's his name?
Let me see. Yeah, the guy.
Anyways, it's the Robin Hood Men in Tights guy. Miss Blinken, the blind guy, you know. He has a Playboy that's in Braille. So, yes, Otila, definitely some blob classic.
Eels?
What'd you call me?
Portrayed by Carrie Eels? Cary Elwes?
Yeah.
That's a person.
That's him. That's it's also the guy in Princess Bride too. The blonde haired guy.
Anyways.
You killed my father.
Huh?
You killed my father.
Oh.
Prepare to die. What were we talking about?
Oh, the fair. We can just talk about it quickly. It's just Mayor Klein is just being angry at the people working at the fair, and then he gets choked by Russian Terminator. He's
I
like,
think he liked it.
maybe. He did get beat up by Hopper, so it's like, this
Tell
guy
you what,
doesn't have a good track record of being beat up this season.
tell you
So
what, he got a fist sandwich.
yeah, he got beat up.
I never said he was Indigo Montoya, and it's not Indigo. I was just quoting the movie, the most famous line from the movie.
Yeah, I knew what you. I know
You
what you
better
were
watch
doing.
yourself, Pluribus broadcast.
Uh-oh. Is that a that's a threat? Oh my. But yeah, it gets the no, because the Russian is like bas- basically like, give me Jim Hopper, essentially. Um, find Jim Hopper within the day, and yeah, which we all know probably won't happen because Hopper is a badass. So
I'm not gonna say it now. Oh yes, Hopper is a badass. He's fat. He's Rambo, but he's fat Rambo. So that's why didn't have much of a chance here.
yeah, and then
Everybody's piling on me now.
uh
It's time to get beat down. Come
oh.
on, come on, put 'em up, put 'em
You
up.
come back for one live stream right now, and then it just everybody just get
Everybody wants me to leave already.
people. Come on.
No, but I don't know. I feel like Hopper knows what to do in this situation, but was kind of looking for a little guidance from Joyce.
Hmm.
Just a little bit. I don't think he was. I don't think he had enough fire under his ass.
Hmm.
I can't think of the proper term, so I'll just say that he didn't have a fire lit under his ass as much as he should have, and Joyce did that for him here. The main thing to take out of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan as well. I have no idea.
John. Yeah, because yeah, they
I
become.
didn't do anything, Casey. It's all unfounded. You know me. I'm just the angel.
Yes, you are the angel. Um, yeah, because there's not really much with that Mary Klein scene. It's literally just find Jim Hopper, and you're like, all right. Um, and then yeah, we go back to kind of Hopper's cabin slash Elle's house, essentially.
you,
And huh?
you be watching Preacher Bravosi broadcast? Talking about Humperdew? Humperdew's Jesus' son.
Oh Jesus!
Okay, you gotta watch Preacher. Oh, there's like a million Humperdew clones out in the world right now. Oh, Preacher.
Oh
Just,
no!
yeah, Humperdew. He's exactly like the name sounds, too.
Oh
Sorry.
god!
Go ahead, Sasa.
Here we get Elle kind of looking for the flayed, and she can't find anybody, or Billy, or the Blob, or Heather. And Mike's like, we shouldn't be treating her like an animal, like a machine, because I love her, and such. Because, but in between then, there was conversations that Elle and Mike had broken up, and then Max and Mike have been like fighting because who should be more supportive of Elle and everything. And they're trying to regroup because they just went through something slightly traumatic, and now they have to regroup to see how they can deal with this. So, what did you kind of think about them all coming together? Like, this is like the first step in them all coming back together again, like including all the different age groups. Essentially, is what's going on, almost with this in this episode. It's the beginning of that.
Yeah, yeah. It is interesting. It's them all coming back together to be just separated at the end, right? Because we had this separation a little bit with the summer. We've seen it exacerbated in the beginning of the season with Mike and 11. What's going on with Will? Dustin had been gone. Now he's got Susie. is on a mission to just getting back to Neverland. We will get into that in another episode because it's just fantastic. But I agree with you. Yeah, this is them coming back together, working together, realizing they need each other. And if I'm not mistaken, they pull off a pretty good plan later. Doesn't go as planned, but they do pull it off. They do pull it off. Teamwork is dream work, yo.
Yeah, they.
There's no I in team, but there is a me. Think about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think most of their execution happens next episode, but this is just like the setup for that. But we kind of get somebody's backstory this episode, the backstory that we've been kind of waiting for, and it's Billy's backstory. So, what did you kind of think about that? Because Elsie's Billy's mom and California, and kind of why Billy is the way that he is.
You bad, Bravosi broadcast. You better stop erasing people's messages. You so mean.
Oh no.
Why you do that? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to. Okay, so what were we talking about? I had something good too.
It was Billy's backstory. And
Oh yeah, Billy's backstory. Billy didn't have all that bad a childhood. I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say. But it does not make. I don't feel for Billy because it doesn't justify him being such a dickhead, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because I had kind of a shit childhood a little bit too, but I feel like he's whining about a lot of stuff that most people have to go through. And I'm not, it's tough, and if you do have a great family, it's rare. Not a great family, just some people that are nice to you all the time. They don't ever get mad. I feel like he may be holding on to some stuff there. The way he treats Max, the way, it still isn't justified in my opinion. I think it's done that way on purpose. Some people may feel differently than I do, but some people may have had a better life than me or other people have had, and they think that's really bad. And I can't say that they're wrong. I can just say from me, it doesn't make me feel as much empathy from Billy as I think he should,
Yeah.
If they were trying to go for, or maybe not, I don't know.
I think they were trying to kind of get us to be on the more sympathetic route with Billy. And like Otila says, yeah, there has to be something missing. He needs to stop whining. Yeah, there's something else that like kind of is the missing element with this. But essentially, it's Elle sees a woman on the beach with a young boy whose name is eventually Billy, and that his mom leaves because she's in an abusive marriage relationship, leaving kind of Billy to be with his dad, and we kind of see the introduction of Max, and it's kind of swift because it's literally like, this is your new sister, Max. It's not like this what more or less people do not traditionally, but like more or less nowadays, where it's like slowly introduce like this new other person, especially if it's another kid, a step sibling.
Now, if your wife cheats on you, you support her. That's the goal here. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't. Yeah.
Oh no.
But you could take a cynical view of that and say that that's not really my take. But like you shouldn't talk that way or argue in front of the kids. But it happens. If that's like these only 2 scenarios or 3 bad things that's ever happened in this kid's life, come on, bro. Come on.
Well, you can probably assume that there was more, maybe, that happened, like getting maybe not bullied, but beat down by his dad, and so on and so forth. Kind of have that more aggressive tone, not having his mom being necessarily around because she took herself out of that situation, which, I mean, I understand, but as a mother, you would probably want your child to go with you as well. Just saying. Especially
I guess
if.
he could have killed her, maybe, and we don't know about it. I don't know.
I think she
It's
left.
implied, right? Until yeah, physical abuse. I mean, he did slap Billy on the back of the head one time. I'm
And didn't
kidding,
he, like,
but it
shove
is
him in?
implied that he probably did something to her in that case.
Yeah,
But
and
I
he.
mean, yeah, I guess we might could find out he freaking killed her. I mean, she's gone, right?
Uh huh. Yeah, she's not in the
Like,
picture,
it
so.
doesn't seem like I don't think she's still alive. I get the feeling she's dead, but could be wrong.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's like. You would. The thing is, though, is like, yeah, you would assume that she would. Because she just. Because he does call her, I think this is in a later scene. Um, I think in the final episode or something, but he does try and contact her. And she says, like, no, I can't be there, or I can't, like, help you or take care
Oh,
of
she's
you.
still alive.
No, like, the young version of Billy, like,
Oh, okay.
calls that person, calls.
Yeah, she may just be like Otila says, shit, mom.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's scared he'll do something to her if she tries to take the kids. He is a military man, and back then they had more sway.
Hmm.
And if she was cheating and that was proved against her, she might not even be able to even see them at that moment.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And, yeah.
It happens
Hmm.
because of how it was back then, especially if you're military. They're gonna believe everything he says, and then it's not like it is today where people get more of a fair shake, even though it's not that.
Hmm.
But it, it might not be her choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she may not. Like, yeah, it may be a thing of, like, she actually can't because the law wouldn't be on her side, essentially. But, because we're, like, yeah, because us here, we're, like, kind of looking at it from, like, a modern perspective, even though this was not that long ago. Um, Times are slightly different. Um, but yeah, we get kind of Billy's backstory that will evolve more in, I think, the final episode. Um, because Max is like, he's not normally like this because he's staying in his room on the 4th of July. Because Billy's a partier, and Mr. Popular, so she's even surprised that he wants to do all these things and have a cool body temperature, um, and such. But during this as well, they find Billy, but then they realize that finding Billy is a trap, and that the Mind Flayer wants to find them through Billy, because Billy's the central focus of this in the season for the Mind Flayer. Um, and that pretty much the Mind Flayer is gonna come to them because now he knows where everybody else is, and that's pretty scary. Um,
Put the mark of Bran on 11.
yeah, that's. But it's not budget brand as Will this episode. It's L. L is been marked by the Night King, but of this story, which happens to be the Mind Flayer. Um, yeah, and yeah, the L gets in trouble, and we kind of see this play out in the next episode. Um, but yes, um, yeah, they get just Elle seeing a bunch of her memories, and that is that they're looking for them, and that all that we can see you all thing reference. Yeah, and then the thing of how basically she was the one to let them through the portal. And I have the quote here. It says, referencing the day for Elle's first opened the gate to the Upside Down, making contact with the Demogorgon in the void. Billy says, "You let us in, and now you're going to have to let us stay. Don't you see? All this time, we've been building it. We've been building it for you. All that work, all that pain, all of it for you. And it's time. Time to end it. And we're going to end you. And wherever you are, wherever you're going, to end your friends. And we're going to end it. End everyone." Which, holy crap, like, imagine, like, if this was the final season, and that was, like, the big ominous threat for the final season, almost, I'd believe it. Like, what did you kind of think about this whole thing about how the Mind Flayers wants to end everybody who's been touched by this? Through Billy.
Well, I guess the Mind Flayer wants to rule, wants to be in control of all the living things that are there. You could say pretty much Billy is kind of already dead. I don't know. Either way, it's nice and ominous and scary, and gives 11 a good antagonist to deal with. A complicated one that's human in one aspect. It's like Will, not as innocent, but there's still a person in there that you don't want to just obliterate them.
No.
And it's got to be a tough thing. I'm gonna go grab me something to drink, and I'll be right back. But Chad, what the hell you think about Sasa's question? Tell me now. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll catch up with us in a second. Yeah, I think if this show was only 3 seasons long, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody, if this was more of an impactful thing. But we know that it's more, and we're getting at least 4 seasons of this show, which will include next season. Where are these chat lurkers? I don't know. I don't know, Aaron. They're, I guess there's somebody doing a stream, I guess, at the same time, so maybe there's something like that. But wasn't it I think so, but now I think the creators, the Duffer Brothers, are saying that it'll be 4 or 5 seasons. They're not sure yet, but they want it to only be a shorter season, or a shorter series of television. Sorry. I think so, though. I think it probably was maybe when they were first starting it that they wanted it to be only 3 seasons, but I guess because it's so popular, they expanded the story in the verse. I'm curious to see how they could extend it without losing interest. Yes. Yeah, I think season 4, well, when Johnny comes back, we can kind of talk about it. A little bit about season 4, but I think season 4, we're going to have the first, maybe second episode is when everybody comes back together. Based off of what happens in the final episode, I feel like we're gonna have the group come back together, because there's no way that they're going to split up the cast for an entire season. They tried to have standalone episodes with Elle, season 2, episode 7, I think it was. So yeah, that was not a good idea. So they're probably not going to do that, because I think that's the lowest rated episode for Stranger Things, is that episode where it's Elle by herself with, I can never remember her name, but number 7, 8. Um, so
8.
yeah, 8.
We call her Mustache.
Mustache. But yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm curious as well, though, Casey, to see how they'll do this and they'll extend this show without making it weird and having people lose interest. That's what I think. I think that they'll have to bring the cast back together fairly quickly, because there has to be some shows. Some shows strive better on divided casts and divided storylines. This show, because it's such a tight knit cast, can't have divided storylines for very long. What
I
do you
think
think?
it will for the next season to be able to draw it out. That's how you're going to build them. Yeah. Okay. So if you split the storylines up, you can take a whole season bringing them back together for that one last season. What are they going for, 5?
4 or 5 seasons. They're not
Yeah.
sure.
Well, we'll see what they do here, how long it takes them to bring them all back together. Because it's going to be a coming of age story at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And you're going to be left with a slight cliffhanger, probably.
Probably to be like a thing of like, could Netflix come back with something? But yes, I think the last thing we have to talk about is that
We covered a lot of it. I think we got maybe one more piece. Maybe. It's just me and you, though, so.
yeah, I think it's just that. It's just that that basically the mind flayer is encompassed everybody, so that the mind flayer, like, I think it's the last scene, is that the mind flayer has grown larger and larger, and it's basically collected all of the women, children, and men, Heather, Janet, and Mrs. Driscoll. So
Yeah, old pool hooker just, man, she got wet, didn't she?
yeah,
Boom, bunch.
yeah,
Dude, so gross. That was the grossest one right there when she just slopped down on the ground. It was like, because she's still kind of cute as a zombie, and then you're like, if I touched her, would she just fall apart like that? And I started thinking about that. I was like, oh my god, oh, that's so damn gross. It's just so gross.
yeah.
And then I'm watching. I don't know if any of y'all have seen Hemlock Grove, but there's some stuff like that the vampires eat. It's really fucking weird show, and it's really just gross. Eli Roth is involved with it, famous horror dude, and yeah, it looks like the Blob, that Blob shit that you see on Stranger Things. That's what it looks like there. He's eating. There's like this homemade shit that they do so they don't have to feed people. It's like eat
That
humans, or it's like a clone compound. So it's so gross.
that
But yeah, check out Hemlock Grove. It's super low budget. It's on Netflix, but it's addictive. It's addictive.
yeah, that kind of seems almost like more like a zombie thing that they
Oh,
would do.
dude. Okay, so I'll just tell you real quick how the werewolves. So they turn into a wolf, kind of like Twilight, but it's a normal sized wolf, right? Okay, so but what happens? Their eyeballs pop out, their skin falls off their bones, and the wolf comes out from inside them, and the snout comes out of their mouth. It's so gross. It's got a lot of horror aspects to it, especially the old school.
Oh, that's what. Oh no, what happened?
War. I dropped for a second, but the old school blood and gore they used to work with the cinematography effects and the makeup artists. They really go heavy and hardcore on this. Yeah. Anyways, I'll shut up. That's not the show we're talking about, but yeah, check it out.
No, that makes kind of sense. It sounds interesting. I don't know. I'll have to have like a pre-screen of this because I'm not super good with scary things, as we know. So maybe I'll be able to watch it and not freak myself out. Um, but I think that's it for this episode, I'm pretty sure. So, as you know, we rate the episode, so but stick around for after for like announcements and stuff because we have something coming up on Saturday. So, which rating for the
And
episode.
Friday too, if you're
Mm-hmm.
interested in checking the Nooner show out. I got to put some stuff out too. I'm going with the channel name change probably, but I think I'm just gonna call it the Nooner Show. My channel. I'll still go by Johnny Be Crazy, and just tell me what y'all think of that as well. But we'll want to get into ratings. This was a good episode. Giving the clap back. Good episode. I would say that. Hmm, I would give it 8.5 strawberry shits. No doubt. Alexia was right on that one, man. That was just bullshit.
Yeah.
I do have some nice nooners.
And I would rate this episode 8 strawberry versus cherry debates. Like, which one's better? It's like the great slushy debate, basically. Um,
Okay, slushy debate. Strawberry's not gonna win, so
I
ever.
know, but that's like the thing is like maybe there is somebody who is team strawberry out there. You never know. Um, there may just
Team
be,
Daryl Strawberry, maybe. 'Cause they
huh?
like cocaine.
Yeah, there may be somebody who likes strawberry slushies. Who knows? It's like those one people that like ate
Nice.
classic Burger King burger. Yes, the Whopper. Ate hot. Oh, or you could went with like 8 Hopper Whoppers or whatever, or Hopper eating Whoppers or something. I don't know, because that was like the burger of choice for this
Hey,
episode.
Hopper Whoppers, that's it, man.
Yeah, but Johnny, what you have going on with the channel? I know you kind of briefly touched on it, but you guys have
Yes,
news.
yes. I'll briefly touch it again. We have the Nooner Show coming up Friday. We'll be doing The Boys and possibly something else. I don't know, but it'll be Friday at noon. It'll be a rough, fun, good time. Hopefully, my internet's back. It's going to be another semi test to see if we have to pre record this shit, but it looks like we may have to. If so, it'll be a flawless recording of us having fun, and I'll make it a premiere so we can all chat during it. But this one's going to be, I'm going to try one or two topics and maybe do more than one stream a week from now on. We'll see. Also, what I got coming out. My top five moments from every season of The Expanse so far. I'm going to start doing a little more of these descriptive things. If you haven't checked out my top five from the boys podcast from the Fandom 3, go check that out. And it's pretty spoiler free. Only gives you some nice descriptive, funny deaths that happen. I try to keep it pretty spoiler free for you. So if you haven't watched it, hopefully this will help you actually watch the show because it's really good. Uh, and just tell me what you think. I'll try to get some feedback from y'all. I'll do this again on the Nooner show. Um, yeah, Southside will be there. We'll be trying to get some more people. Uh, recommend me for me to reach out to some people. I've been kind of bad lately at reaching out to people trying to get them on the show just because I don't know, kind of shy. You wouldn't think that, but I kind of am. So we will see, and just let me know. And yeah. Whatever. Check out my Patreon. It is rocking. We got a lot of stuff going on there. Unfortunately, the watch parties are gone, but we're gonna have a lot more podcasts. Got a Fire and Blood book club going on. Everybody has access to it now. Um, you know, the higher tiers get early access to it, but you'll get access to all of it like one a month or more. We'll see what's going on with it. I'll probably do another book uh, book breakdown type thing in there. I don't know what book yet, but they do take a while. I'll probably take a big book and, and just do it.
Yeah.
And we have I'll be doing on my Patreon. You'll be getting some experiment videos to see. I want to get some feedback on what I'm doing, and I want to do some good stuff and stop necessarily putting out a bunch of stuff, hoping stuff ahead. I want to I want to get some quality going. So I want y'all to help me with that. And that's about it. Thank you, Sasa. I'll shut the hell up, but it's been a while. So.
No problem. Well, uh, we know that next week we're going to cover another episode of Strange Things, but on Saturday, the stream that has been promised since Episode Club Season 1, Episode 10, is coming for Game of Thrones. We are going to be doing Best Butts streams, and we're doing multiple. We're gonna do almost a style of, we're gonna have I think we have 4 people on this week on Saturday who are gonna come on and make their cases for who has the best butt in Game of Thrones. 5 women, 5 men, and whoever has, I guess, the best list moves on, or makes their best case moves on, and then we have more people involved. So we're gonna have at least 2, I think.
Septa Mordain is the champion. I call it now. Septa Mordain, the queen of the heinies.
Yes, the queen of the heinies. We'll have at least 2.
We should crown a king and a queen. There we go. I just thought of it.
The heinies, yes.
Queen of asses. The ass that was promised.
The ass with the sass. So we'll have a few of these streams going on because I know quite a few people want to join us for those streams, but some days don't work necessarily. So we'll have one on Saturday around 2 o'clock. I'm going to make the link, I think, tomorrow. So we'll spread that around like a wildfire. And we're going to be talking about, just come with a list if you want. If you want to be involved in the stream, just let me know. We can schedule a time. Schedule one. We'll probably do at least 2 on a Saturday, and then 1 or 2 after Stranger Things is over. Just so
so John St. Baptiste, who I know is not listening, can participate.
Yes, and a few other people. So don't worry, we'll figure out a time, but we'll make it on Saturday though, and for the first one, and then we'll figure out as the days come. But yes, make your lists, check them twice,
Find out if you're naughty, nice, or have the right butt.
If you have the number 1 butt, and we probably won't show the butts, but I'll have a list of all the
Make your case for the best power bottom here.
Exactly. We'll have pictures of all of the characters' faces, not their butts, because you don't want to be flagged by YouTube.
So we need to make a Facebook post and maybe a couple polls once we figure out what the first line is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get that worked out tomorrow. We'll figure out who the first people on the docket are.
I think, we got
We know one of them's going to be Septa Mordain. So, don't be lying. And call Drogo, come on.
Yeah, because he's
that ass. Don't quit.
Exactly. But we're going to just look out for the poll. It'll probably be on maybe my personal Facebook, or I'll just put it in one of the big groups that we're all involved in. But we have that going on. The makeup video with Egret is coming. Been kind of rough last couple days, but I'm going to get that on Patreon. Which, speaking of patrons, you can, which will be Egret is the next one that is going up. But for the Patreon, I did amend some of the things for Patreon because I'm starting back school in September. But it's very, very simple. You vote, essentially, which stuff is coming up. We're going to be doing exclusive content for Patreon, probably a book club, kind of book review style things, and so on and so forth. We're asking the patrons what they kind of want to see. We do exclusive live stream stuff that they get to vote on, because I usually ask them, what do you want to do, have a live stream, so we do that. And me and Aaron are going to be doing a stream series together, who's Barosi Broadcast, 3 Queens in History versus 3 Queens in Game of Thrones. It's coming up very, very soon. We've been working very hard on that, so that's coming as well. as well as we may sneak in a special stream that's Patreon voted in the next week or so. So, so look out for that one. But next week, Wednesday, 8:30, we are going to be talking about Chapter 7, The Bite. But before we wrap this up, and I don't know why I'm saying this all, but shout out to the lovely patrons of the channel. We have Bobby Catalano, Catherine Harding, Nancy T, Dark Mother, and Katrin C. From my point of view, another awesome channel that you should check out below. But Johnny, do you have anything? And it's Peter Griffin who's joined us now at the very end. But Johnny, do you have anything else to say before we officially sign?
I don't think so. Thank you all for coming out. Giggity Peter. That's what's up. You make me think when Peter Griffin got pretty and he was just a snob to everybody. He was that big ass head on a normal body. She was hilarious. But yeah, hey man, get that pump on, bruh. Are you working out a bit or working? See, lurking while working or lurking while working out. You getting buff or what, bro?
You working out?
No, see, that's about all I got, though. Thank you so much for having me on. Sasa. It's fantastic. Thank you all, everybody in the chat. Much love. And, yeah, see you Friday on our Nooner show.
But thank you so much for the chat, and we'll see you all very, very soon on Johnny's channel.
It'll be noon Eastern Standard Time, by the way, in case you're wondering.
Yes.
All right.
Bye, everybody.